Should we wait for him then? Or we can start reading all that stuff?
Yep, you can go ahead.
Okay, so I'd like to begin the meeting today, October 11th at 5 o'clock. In keeping with an act relative to extending certain state of emergency accommodations, this meeting will be conducted remotely over Zoom. Attendance by board members will be remote, and remote attendance shall count toward quorum. The meeting will be broadcast live and recorded on ECAT. To use Zoom, you'll need to use the link on the agenda or download the Zoom application at www.zoom.us and create an account or use one of the call-in numbers listed on the agenda. You will need the webinar ID to join by phone only. While conducting meetings remotely, we will endeavor to keep meeting operations as close to our standard procedures as possible. However, use of this platform will necessitate some additional meeting protocols. While the board members or commissioners and applicants will be on video and audio, public participants will join the webinar as attendee, meaning they are muted and with no video feed from them. During the public testimony portion of the meeting, members of the public can be recognized by using the raise hand function found under participants from Zoom and make a request with the Q&A function. If you're joining only by phone, you can press *9 to raise your hand. If an applicant wishes to display materials, please make the request of the chair and the email materials to the board staff sharing on screen. When starting testimony, please state your name and address for the record. There is a markup function in Zoom which will allow you to call out specific areas of presentation materials. As in any public meeting, indecent behavior will not be tolerated, and anyone who abuses use of the meeting platform will be terminated from the meeting. Business will be handled at the times indicated on the agenda. Business not concluded in the allotted time will be tabled to the end of the meeting to allow for timely logins and remote attendance. Board members are asked to announce themselves when making a motion and second, so that it will be clear to the audience and minute takers who made the motions. All voters will be by roll call. When all business indicated on the agenda has been completed, the members will vote to adjourn the meeting, signaling the end of the meeting and the termination of the ECAT recording. All participants will be disconnected from the webinar at that time. Okay, so the first thing on the agenda tonight is Goodspeed Estates requesting a variance in accordance with 310 CMR 15.411. System 1 and 3 pump chambers excess of 36 inches above cover.
So I'm going to promote Greg to a panelist and let him begin presenting this from the borderland engineering standpoint.
Thank you.
Mr. Gorodetsky, you have your hand up. Did you have something to add to the first item on the agenda? Nope, your hand's down. Okay, we'll promote you when it's time for your project.
Hello, Greg Bonovitz, Borderland Engineering. Good evening.
Greg.
Good evening.
Hi. So I just wanted to start with just a small history on the project. Goodspeed Estates, it was a subdivision under the under a cluster or a village permitting. It was probably a cluster permitting process done by Pilling Engineering in 2017, and there was numerous revisions on the plans. The septic plan was approved by the Board of Health November 2017. So we're here for a variance for depth of cover over the pump chambers. The maximum depth of cover is 36 inches allowed by Title V. The pump chambers were constructed as close as possible to the design plans, and there's just construction tolerances such as the electric and a lot of infrastructure that's in a small location that didn't allow for the exact 36 inches or maximum 36 inches. To provide adequate functionality, the tanks are the pump chamber tanks, and they're constructed with H20 loading, which is heavy duty construction. And then they're also have risers on them with rims and grates that are brought up to finished grade for access to the pumps and electrical.
So Lynn, this is, members of the board, this is something we typically see as we get deep into construction with some of these subdivisions. They can't, as Greg said, meet the tolerances that are called out in Title V. To point out too, this is not a gross exceedance of the 36 inches. Greg, do you have the exact numbers? But they were, it's within 6 inches or so. It's not like there's an extra 3 feet of cover.
Yeah, the maximum cover that Title V says for system components with the variance is 6 feet, which is 72 inches. The minimum, the maximum normally is 36 inches. These are under the 6 foot threshold. They're about, I think one of them's in the 48 inch range, and then the other one's in the 56 inch range.
Are there any concerns with this from you, Tim or Kristen?
I don't have any concerns as far as the amount of cover that's been placed over them. As Greg said, this is a combination of 3 shared septic systems that come under one homeowner group. So we are finding, you know, it a little bit cumbersome as some of the lots have been sold off and are being developed individually. And we're trying to kind of get everything in as it gets closer, but this is kind of an unavoidable scenario that we often see.
Okay, does anybody from the board have any questions or concerns?
No, it's
no,
not a big deal.
It's no big deal. No.
I'll make a motion to approve the variance for Goodspeed Estates, requesting a variance in accordance with 310 CMR 15.411, pump chambers excess of 36 inches above cover.
Second.
All those in favor?
Zayas, yes.
Mills, yes.
And LeBlanc, yes. Thank you, guys. And thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Good night.
So then the next thing on the agenda is 1 North Main Street. There's 2 different things they're looking for: a variance from Title V in accordance with 310 CMR Title V 15.410. It's requested as follows: a reduction of the existing septic tank setback from the slab foundation from 10 feet to approximately 2 feet. And then they're also looking for a variance from the Town of Easton, Chapter 350-6 percolation tests. A minimum of 2 percolation tests will be required for septic system is requested as follows. Due to the limited area of the lot of variance, they wanted to provide 1 percolation test. That's what they're requesting. Is there anybody here? Oh, Alex. Are you there?
Yes, I am here.
Hello.
Yes, I don't know. I can. Oh,
So I can maybe do a little bit of explaining. This is a repair to an existing home. There is a 1,500 gallon tank that will end up being 2 feet off the foundation. It's a plastic tank. It is a tiny lot. The variance for the 1 perk test and 1 deep hole scenario was originally given when this system was constructed back in, right around 2000, because of lot constraints, but because this is a new application, we're asking, the engineer is asking, has to ask for it again. You have to bless it again. But it's one that's previously already been granted on this lot just because of the tight constraints. And then, as I said, we have a setback issue from the tank to the foundation. Lynn, you're muted.
And sorry about that, and 10 to 2 feet, that's not a big difference, there's no possible issues with that?
It's a slab foundation. It's, again, it's a tight lot. It's a repair. I will point out that this is the engineer's own home. So I don't think that he would be proposing anything that he weren't comfortable with. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, it is.
Uh,
Yes, it is.
Okay, I know we've done less than one percolation test before. Does the board have any questions or comments?
No, it's downtown. I'm impressed that they can even sneak something in on a repair with these lots. That's why I moved out of there. I applaud them. I make a motion to approve.
Seconded.
Third,
Can we
all those,
approve, can we do one motion to approve for both of those things, Kristen?
Yes,
Yeah, it's just the same. Okay,
you can say the variance is as requested.
okay,
that too.
all right,
I like both of those things.
okay. And Aria, you,
Seconded.
and myself as well, all those in favor?
Zayas, yes.
Mills, yes.
LeBlanc, yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Bye-bye, sir.
Bye-bye. Thank you very much.
Then it looks like we have an update on COVID-19.
So just an update with some of the numbers that we have. We have been, since September, we have been, our 2-week case count of those cases being reported actually into Maven, which we all know is significantly less than what we're seeing in the community, but is balanced out by the number of tests that it's actually referring to. So in early September, we were in the 30s, crept up to the 40s. Mid-September, we were in the 50s, 55. Last week, the number that would have ended for the 2-week period ending on October 1st did drop us down to 39. So hopefully we'll continue to see things. I believe we might have had a 35. No, we won't get that number until this week. But the numbers are trending down, but are kind of staying in that 35 to 55 range. That probably represents a lot of what we are finding and seeing in some of our long-term care facilities that are doing routine testing and people that are actually becoming ill enough that they need to be hospitalized. That is about it. I will add, I was going to add it in under staff notes, but I will take this opportunity to mention that we are going to be having some COVID booster clinics. They were the first of which will be this coming Friday at Frothingham Hall from, I believe it's 2 to 6 p.m. And we are working out plans to be able to offer COVID boosters during the election as well as during preceding town meeting, all dependent on the supply of vaccines continuing to come. As well as our being able to get the spaces that we want to be able to do these clinics. Word is that they are going to be approving the bivalent new booster for some younger kids in the week or so coming. So we'll see how that pans out and whether or not we adjust and offer to help with any of those efforts. So we'll see how much of an uptake there is. We always want it to be available and available easily to anybody who needs it. If anybody has a homebound member of their family or knows of a homebound individual, please give a call to Tim Vamosi and the staff over at Frothingham, 508-230-0690. And let them know that you do have knowledge of a homebound individual, and we will do our best to, as we've done all along, get out to that home and make sure that that person has the vaccine that they need.
Okay, thank you. The next thing is an update on the arbovirus, tick-borne and mosquito-borne, the illnesses.
So far, luckily, we have had a really great year on this front. The state and Bristol County Mosquito Control had to cancel an application in the spring because they did not, and it was the larvicide, it was the basically the pellets that we hope the larva will ingest that will prevent them from ever hatching. They had to call that off in the spring because of extremely low water levels and not being able to, for the stuff to get into the crypts where the little buggers like to hide. Apparently they had been monitoring and found an opportunity and were able to try that application a couple of weeks ago with the hopes that we might be able to knock down the number that even are available to overwinter. So that we'll see what their numbers say after that. It was kind of a last minute thing that they figured they would try getting in there and see if they could have an impact.
Okay, thank you. And our first real frost should be, I don't know, soon?
I think we've been on the cusp of it soon, you know, so it's probably coming, but it's New England, who knows?
No, true. Thank you. And then the meeting format, remotely, in person, or hybrid?
Yep, so you had asked me to find out the select board is meeting in person, recreation continues to be remote, council on aging continues to be remote. And you guys said, you know, you just were curious as to, or looking to see how that would play out for you. Room availability right now, because of the demands of early voting and the election coming up, there is no meeting space available on Monday evenings here in Town Hall. Frothingham Hall is currently being used by the select board for their Monday night meetings. So space could even be a concern till we get past probably November. So if you want to put it on the agenda in November and consider it again for December, or what our plan is going to be, we can continue to do that, or we can make a change if you prefer that, and we'll find a space.
I mean, I don't want to speak before the board. If any, I feel like this is fine and we should put it on the agenda for next month. Are we meeting later in the month, or is it the same halfway through kind of thing?
Your meeting date for November would be November 8th.
Okay. Does the board have anything to add? No. Okay, so we'll put
Yeah,
it
no,
on-
I agree that putting it on for November is perfect.
Why don't you table it to December, because the November is still gonna be before election time.
That's
There's
a
no
good
sense
point.
wasting their time talking about it to table it to December, so why don't we just revisit it in December?
Okay, perfect.
Not trying to be a
Right.
jerk, I'm just,
You're not
you know
being
what
a
I mean?
No, I agree
perfect.
with that. Well, I was kind of thinking, well, we're gonna be able to make a decision then, but I didn't know if people wanted to talk about it again next month. So, and then lastly, betterments. Are there any betterments? I think there was one. You sent that later, right?
Yes, unfortunately, it wasn't in the original packet. I sent it around 4:15 to everybody. It's for 15 Longview Drive.
Okay,
The septic system's in failure. The design's already done, and the homeowner's ready to go with construction. However, this is a big home, 7 bedrooms, near wetlands, and it involves a pump system as well. So he's seeking $78,000.
that's a lot more than we've ever.
Yeah, this is on one of the higher side ones that we've had. But like I said, it's close to wetlands. They did their best to, and it's a big system because it's a big house.
I'm just trying to pick up that thing that was sent to just take a peek.
I didn't send the design plans. I'm sorry. It was
that's
the
okay.
application and the assessor's card.
How many bedrooms is it?
The
7.
thing to remember is we only pay the invoices that are submitted, and we are mindful, as you know, homeowners have not agreed with, our interpretations, and they've come to the board asking for ornamental rock gardens and sprinkler systems that didn't exist. But the statute's pretty clear that we are only allowed to pay invoices for bills that are actually necessary. And so while it is a large number, and it may put us on a faster track for having to ask for more money through the normal processes, that's what this money is there for from the state.
So,
And it's a max, it's an up to, they don't have to use it all.
Correct.
Correct, yes. It's just a place card holder.
and so if and maybe I should know this, but if somebody asks for a certain amount, but then when they submit the document saying what it's for, if it's not for what is met in what the criteria says it can be used for, you just deny that? How does that?
I can think of a couple of instances and examples. One was they did not want to close out the loan because they wanted to get a design and expansion of a deck. And that's not allowed. If you break a sprinkler line, you're allowed to incorporate fixing that sprinkler line as part of the loan. You're not allowed to put in a whole new zone or a whole new sprinkler system because you have money. That's what a home equity loan is for. These loans are for pieces that are essential to replacing a failed septic system. And remember, these are all cases where the septic system has been documented as failed. And it has to be related to and within reason of restoring to pre-existing conditions, not restoring to $50,000 outdoor kitchen type of scenarios. And yes, we see the itemized invoices. Tim sees them as they come in, and if there's anything that is questionable, we have a discussion and we go from there.
Okay. Does
Jim,
any,
what kind of system is it? Is it a pipe and gravel system or is it a?
I don't have the plan in front of me, but I believe it's Cultex chambers.
Okay.
And the price of materials, as with anything in construction, has gone through the roof.
And remember, most of what we see are on average 4-bedroom houses. This one is a 7-bedroom design. So, when you kind of look at the numbers that way,
Doubled. Yeah. I'll make a
it's
motion.
kind of
to approve.
relative.
Seconded.
all those in favor?
Zayas, yes.
Mills, yes.
LeBlanc, yes. Okay, thank you for that explanation. Then going back to the agenda, which I am looking for, but I made it small and I can't find it. What's next, guys?
Acceptance of the
Acceptance of
minutes.
minutes.
That's it? Okay,
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes for August 8th, 2022 and September 12th, 2022.
Second.
all those in favor?
Zayas, yes.
Mills, yes.
LeBlanc, yes. Is there anything else?
Yeah, so I could have covered it under COVID, but it's just coming to me as we go through. I do want to make sure everybody on the board knows and is ready to spread the word that we have an abundance of COVID test kits that are here and available to residents. We have been working very hard. We had a presence at each of the Welcome Back to School or open house nights for RO on up. Passing out kits to parents. We have been in contact with the schools and want to make sure that the nurses have enough kits to be able to send for the whole household if they're sending a child home, that it just shouldn't be the one kit for the child. It should be one kit for everybody in the house so that they have the resources right there. And also using that as an opportunity to educate people on the fact that these test kits, when they came out, were brand new. FDA gave them very conservative expiration dates. but that's changed now. And the longer these are out in the community, the FDA keeps giving them extensions and keeps giving them new expiration dates. So making sure that people aren't just looking at them and saying this is expired and throwing it away. We've outfitted everything that we've given away with a QR code that can be scanned and takes people to the most up-to-date expiration date. So any of the kits that we're passing out right now are good, I think at least until December or January, and that will probably change and move forward another 6 months. We've been using events like the Borderland event this past weekend, the NRT event, to also get kits out there into the community, and hoping that everybody has the resources they need as they go into the winter. I mentioned the COVID clinics coming up. I think that is it for me for right now. You know, we are working on a monkeypox policy. We also are being briefed by the state on what the potential impacts or protocols may be if the Ebola outbreak in Uganda continues to spread and potentially impact. As of right now, all travel from that region is being directed through 5 airports. The closest one for us is New York. It's not Boston, but that could change if this outbreak continues to grow. So never a dull moment.
No. Could you share that QRS code with us?
So each QR code is unique to the manufacturer.
Okay.
So the eye health kits that the schools have and that we have an abundance of, the white with the orange lettering, we have stickers for those that were provided by the state. We have still some kits that the town had purchased early on when kits were hard to come by. We've made our own QR code for that. But if anybody has a question on a specific kit and they're having trouble, they can just give us a call and we can walk through looking it up. But it's the manufacturer's webpage that you would Google and just expiration extension, and it should be pretty intuitive how to get to the page where the new expiration dates are.
So each box of kits would be 1 day, not each individual kit. So if you get a big box, whatever that date is, it'll tell you how long that's been extended for.
Yeah, right on the box itself. I have props. Give me a sec. I don't have the one that we need. So this particular kit, if someone were to look at this kit, it says on the back that it expired in May of 22. But if I were to go to the website and Google Access Bio Care Start COVID-19 kit, on their webpage would be an FDA approval letter that usually refers to the lot number. You type in the lot number, or you have a list and you find the lot number and it gives you the new expiration date. This one here, it's on the go. Same thing. They look like they're expired, but by going to this one in particular, you go to the website and it's just a page, you find the number and it tells you. The white and orange one is the eye health one is a little bit more tech savvy, where you actually just type in the lot number off the box and it tells you here's your new expiration date, instead of having you look through a Word document.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I think that's it, unless anybody else has anything. So I can make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 5:29.
Second.
All those in favor?
Mills, yes. I read lips.
LeBlanc. Yeah, you were on mute, Aria. LeBlanc, yes.
Sorry.
All right, I think that's it. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
All right,
you.
have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Bye-bye.